to my YouTube channel. For those who don't know me, I'm Kieron and I finished my second year of regional law at the University of Cambridge. Of course, this lockdown isn't what we wanted, but it's the situation that we are in at the moment, and no doubt you've been trying to think of ways to keep yourself occupied. So what I thought in this video would be to talk about how I've been keeping myself occupied, especially since exams have finished and I've got all of this time that's available. The first way I've been keeping myself occupied is by attending virtual internships. I know I had a mini pupillage coming up during the summer, but that's been delayed till October, so fingers crossed that still happens when October comes around. But luckily, many organisations have been putting on virtual internships. So for example, those who watched my previous video where I vlogged my experience of the Legal Cheek virtual vacation scheme will know that during that week I took part in that vacation scheme. There were a series of different talks, but there were also exercises as well, and I gained so much from that internship. I'm thinking of doing a video on that, so watch the space for that. And if you haven't checked out that vlog, go and check it out and then come back and watch this video. But in that vacation scheme, I did take away a lot from it. I also did another internship. I did a virtual internship based on human rights law. This was being provided by the Kusin and Inside Sherpa, and it was focusing on Australian law, but I found it really enjoyable. So there was 3 different modules, and then within each module there were different tasks to do, and they looked at different areas like disability discrimination, employment, looking at human rights, looking at international law. And the nice thing about that one compared to the Legal Cheek one was that it was self-paced, meaning I could take my time with it. I could do a module and then take a break, come back to it the next day or whatever. And I found that really useful as well. Therefore, what I would recommend doing is just keeping an eye out for these opportunities. Just because there's lockdown doesn't mean that you can't find opportunities, albeit virtual opportunities, to develop some useful skills or to develop some understanding of the law or banking or whatever you're interested in. And so just keep an eye out, keep an eye out on social media like LinkedIn or on Facebook or whatever. And just, if you're interested in it, take part in it. Even if you're not sure about it, you might want to try something new. So keep an eye out, is what I would advise. The second thing that I've been doing, or what I've been trying to do during lockdown, is linked to the first one, that I've been researching career options, because this time next year I will have, hopefully, fingers crossed, have finished my degree. Yes, you heard right. It's only about a year left. I know many of my friends in third year have graduated, and that will come round eventually. So I need to be thinking about what's going to happen next, what my plans are. At the moment, I am aspiring to be a barrister. Areas I'm thinking of is like public law or environmental law or employment law. But what I'm trying to do at this stage is to keep my options open and trying to do some research. So I'll be researching, for example, scholarships that I may need to apply to, because the next stage is going to be expensive somewhat. So I need to do some research around that. Just do research around different areas of the law, like public law, for example, but also different chambers, the process, but also, and especially from the vacation scheme I just mentioned, think about different options, because it isn't just barrister. There are, being an in-house lawyer, for example, so working within the company, or legal tech, for example. So I'm keeping my options open, and I'm using this time to do some research and make some notes on my laptop so that I can refer back to them at a later date. One way I've been doing research is by attending webinars. At the time of recording this, there's a webinar coming up in a couple of days' time by Radcliffe Chambers, talking about the pupillage process, what life as a pupil is like. So I'm looking forward to that. And there's a couple being provided by BPP Law School in July. And so again, keep an eye out for these options and use this time while you've got it to do that little bit of research. You don't have to do it loads all the time, but you can use the time, spend a couple of hours each day doing a bit of research or looking at something that you didn't think about looking at before, and just keeping an open mind about different career options that you might have. You might be unsure at the moment, that's perfectly fine. But just do that little bit of research, spend a little bit of time doing that little bit of research is always quite useful. The third thing I've been doing, and it's not career related this time, is just doing some reading. I've wanted to try and read a lot more. For those who have been with my channel a little while, you might recall that I did a New Year's resolution video. And in that New Year's resolution video, I said that I would read a lot more. Now, the target I set, which I can't quite remember, I didn't succeed in sticking with that target. but I'm trying to rectify that and trying to read a bit more. So if I just show you a couple of the books that I've been reading. These are some of the books that I've been reading. So one of them I read was John Berger's autobiography, which was quite interesting. I got this while he was at the Cambridge Union in Lent, and he even signed it, as you can see here, which I will also be keeping this book because he signed it. I've also been reading Absolution, and at the moment I am reading Amsterdam by E. McEwan. I enjoyed his book, The Children Act, which was turned into a film, which I watched and enjoyed. So I'm reading some of his books. I ordered some online. So I'm just doing a little bit more reading. I like to do that on a morning as part of my routine. I would get up, have a cup of tea, but also read my book, maybe listen to a podcast or listen to some music or whatever, or just read the book. And it's just something nice to do. It's quite good to read a book. And you can also do it on the Kindle or whatever, but I like a nice physical book. That's probably what I prefer. Speaking of podcasts, another thing I like to do is listen to podcasts. My favourite podcast would be the For the Many podcast. It is a political one, so it's got a radio presenter Ian Dale and former Home Secretary Jackie Smith, and they do some discussion around some of the events that have been happening in the week, and they give a political discussion, but also it's good fun as well. And they have a lot of like banter and jokes, and it's just a really good and interesting podcast to listen to. I also listen to Law Pod UK, which is done by the Barristers of One Crown Office Row, and they talk about legal developments that have been happening. That's quite interesting. I listen to something rhymes with purple, which is like languages and the meaning of words, the origin of words, which is quite interesting as well. So another thing that I've been doing is trying to learn a language. More specifically, I've been trying to learn some French. Now, I did do some French for GCSEs. I didn't do as well in GCSEs for French. I only got a C, but I did enjoy it when I did do it. And so I thought I would revive that understanding of French and learn a bit more of it. So I've been using Duolingo, and they have little different tasks that you do. And it's a good way of learning a new language. And if you're thinking of learning a language, I would recommend using Duolingo. No, I'm just trying to do something new. One useful thing about this time is that it's an opportunity to try something new, try something that's out of your comfort zone, or try something that's different. Another thing that I've been doing is I've been attending the theatre. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, I thought we were in lockdown. I thought theatres were closed. And you are right, theatres are closed, but I've been watching the theatre online. The National Theatre and other theatres have been putting on productions onto YouTube, and so I've been watching them. So I've watched A Streetcar Named Desire, Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's fantastic to watch them. Of course, it doesn't beat being actually there in person, but it's great that they've been putting them on. I've also been catching up with my friends. Of course, I prefer to be with them in person, but I've been able to attend online socials via Zoom. So the CUA, the Cambridge University Liberal Association, whose events I attended in Lent, for example, I've been putting on events online via Zoom, like spirited discussions. They put a garden party on there, but they've also been putting other events on as well. And the nice thing about that is I've been able to catch up with friends and have a good time. I've enjoyed the virtual spiritual discussions. It's not the same as physical spiritual discussions, but I've still had a good time, and it's just great to chat with friends and laugh and have a good time. And I've also been catching up with friends via Messenger and other social media. So I've been doing that as well. The final thing that I've been doing is relaxing. Yes, actually relaxing. Not as much as I should do, perhaps. I always like to be doing something, being active, whether I be doing a bit of work or whatever it may be. I always like to be doing something, but I have been relaxing as well. I can assure everyone I have been relaxing, because at the very least this lockdown has given us an opportunity to reflect and to spend time thinking about what has happened, thinking about the current situation we're in. And it has been nice to have this time to relax a little bit and to unwind, especially after what has been a year and ups and downs. That is second year. Do check out my video on that, which is on my YouTube channel. And of course, I've been using this time to do YouTube videos for my channel. They do vlogs, just doing advice videos, there's various different types of videos. I've got some ideas about what I want to do. I just thought I would just talk about what I've been getting up to. What I would say would be to try and use this time to do something new, to do something different, to do something out of your comfort zone. You learn a new language, learn a new skill, attend a vacation scheme, whatever it may be. But use this time to be able to do something different, or just at the very least just to relax and enjoy time with your family, your friends, whether, even if that's online. catch up with them, reach out to people you haven't spoken to for a while and just chat with them and catch up with them. And while we are in lockdown, use this time to maybe develop a little bit, to reflect a little bit, or just to have fun and do something different. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to do the usual things like follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You can subscribe to the channel. How can you do that? You can click the bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Recommend you do so. You can also hit the notification bell to keep up to date, share the video, comment if you've got any suggestions for videos. I would really appreciate any suggestions. I've got some ideas, but I would appreciate some input from the viewers. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one.